All right, so as y'all know, we started Killer Performance a little bit ago, and it's been really good. We're out of room almost immediately, but we got some great news. We just moved in a new building. I'm going to show you on the side of it right now. It's actually really nice, a lot nicer than our other building. It's just right around the corner, like maybe 200 yards away. So walking in, we have a showroom area, office in there, another desk over here. See here the office. Obviously we're gonna paint the walls and stuff a different color. Bathroom's much nicer than the other shop there. Walk out here, polished floors, and it is huge in here. 2 rear doors. It's already got a lift in here. Got an area up there with storefront. That's I-70 that runs along there, so we're right off the highway. Possible storage up there as well. Obviously, we're gonna paint all this. This is gonna be much nicer. This is 4,200 square foot versus our other shop that's 1,850. So a lot more room for activities. Got a fire extinguisher, you know. Yeah, you walk out the door and there's I-70 right there. We can do pulls on the highway and be able to videotape right outside the store. Woo. Tim's got the Whipple on this Mustang. He's excited.
Yeah.
He's excited.
Almost done.
Playing with fuel pumps over here. Got the Vortec car finally done.
Yep. Tim rib converted.
Yeah, Tim rib conversion. Put some extra sauce to it.
Extra sauce.
Yeah, I can't tell you what the sauce is, but it's gonna be a good running car here. Next up on the plate though is the C7. We have the new motor sitting over here for it. Frankenstein just shipped our heads, and we're gonna get this thing back in. Meanwhile, we're gonna take this TSP motor, we're gonna send it back to Texas Speed. They're gonna get it fixed up for us and back to us. And we're going to be putting the Texas Speed 427 back in the car whenever we do get it back. But in the meantime, we need to be racing the C7, so we want to get this thing running. That way we can give Texas Speed enough time and not have to rush them on getting this motor back to us. So it's going to be a good running combo. It's basically identical to the same combo that was in the C7 that made just a little over 1,300 to the tires. So we'll be able to see what that setup would have done if we wouldn't have just went ahead and switched to this new Texas Speed motor so quick. So that is what we're doing on the C7. So we will have this Corvette back out on the track here very soon. I'm pretty excited for it. It's really dirty right now. Look at the dust on top of the thing. Ugh. So C7 next up on the plate after we get this Mustang out of here. And then we got a Focus in here. Hey guys, what's this Focus doing in here? We don't know whose it is?
Friend of Curtis.
Oh, it's a Curtis deal.
Guy bought it at the auction. It was running like crap.
Oh my.
Battery and a tune-up. Brand new. 10,000 miles.
Oh my goodness. All right, yeah. So not sure what Curtis has going with the Focus. I was hoping we were going to like Coyote swap the thing or something, but doesn't look like it. It's still going to stick with the EcoBoost. But hey, exciting news. I told the guys the other day we are actually going to be moving shops next week. So we're going to have a lot bigger of a shop, and we're pretty excited for it. This Whipple Stang all finished up. Looks good. This is a Stage 2 Whipple kit on a 2018 Mustang. Real nice kit. Comes with the big throttle body, air box. Everything looks factory too, all the hoses and everything. So this one's going to have a pump gas tune. We're getting ready to load the tune in right now and sail it on its way to the owner. He already had all of his tuning stuff, so this one's all finished up. Another 2018-19 Mustang on the road here in Kansas City. Today, Audi didn't even phase it one bit. All-wheel drive, got here perfectly in the ice. We're getting ready to take Nemo. It's in the trailer out to Olathe, Kansas. We got a friend of ours, Josh, who messaged us, and he's going to get the dent out for us on that rear quarter from the incident in Bradenton last weekend. But guess what? We got a special announcement. Are we swapping motors?
We're swapping.
We are swapping engines.
It's coming out.
It's happening. Happening
deal.
live today during the great ice apocalypse outside.
It ain't stopping us.
It's not stopping the C7 workers.
Alright, so we'll just undo this one.
While they're getting that thing ready to prep, we're going to get the new C7 engine out. Got the cam, got the head sitting in there. And this is going to be our spare C7 motor, but right now we are going to be using the spare while we're waiting on our Texas Speed motor to come back from Texas Speed. So we'll be putting that in the car. It is not a stock motor. That is a 416 LME motor, Magnum crank, pistons, billet rods. I mean, it's basically the same motor that was in the C7 about a year and a half ago that treated us so well. So we're going back to that setup for right now while we're waiting on the other motor to come back. We got a custom Futrol Motorsports camshaft, same cam that was in the last setup. And these are basically the same heads that we ran on the last motor as well. They just came back from Frankenstein. We're going to be running the K-Tech VVT Delete stuff on the front, head studs, all that good stuff. So it's going to be a very power potential motor. I mean, this is not going to be no stock deal that we're putting in the Corvette. It's actually going to run very well. It could possibly take us in the sevens with just this spare motor that we got. So we're going to get that thing working, see what we get done today. I'm really curious to see how this dent comes out, Nemo. It's a pretty nasty one, but from what I've been seeing online and talking to a bunch of PDR guys, it is able to come out almost 100% as long as the dent guy knows what he's doing. And Josh, that we're getting ready to take it out to, he's won awards for dent stuff. I mean, he's a very good dent guy here in Kansas City. He's a car guy too, which is really cool. It's always good having another fellow car guy that races and stuff work on your stuff, because they know the importance that car is to you. But we are going to wait for him to call us. We had a bad ice storm this morning. The roads are clear now, but you know, it made people, you know, go and work late and maybe not even open up today. So I'm just waiting on him to let me know. And then we're going to be heading out there. We got Nemo already in the trailer. Never unloaded him from Bradenton. So he's dirty. He's got Sharpie written on his rear quarter. But we're going to get him fixed up and back to like new after this weekend.
Oh my goodness.
Oof.
That will
Power Glide still looks brand new under here.
wake a guy up.
Very nice.
I think we're going to cut the exhaust right here. Run some dumps. No more exhaust. Tired of the mufflers. Got a nice little hole wrapped through there. You just undo that hole, undo that bolt, and then basically the transmission can separate, or I say the bell housing can separate from the engine.
Slip fit.
Oh yeah. Looking good. You can see that joint right there, that little clamp on the splines. Basically undo that, and then this whole thing slips out once you get the motor ready to take out. Got the blow-off valves up there. Air to water's back there. A lot of stuff going on. Got the engine ready to come out. So far, so good. Just taking the mounts off right now, so that way the engine slides out there a lot easier. Got our trusty engine plate that we put on there to pull out these motors. Works on LS and LT.
Yep, we added a hole.
Added a hole.
It was back one, so now we work on both.
Oh, nice.
Universal.
Yeah, ready to go. There she is, out again. Gonna take this thing apart, get the parts we need off of it, put on our spare short block back there, and gonna go right back in with her. All right, Tim, found the damage.
We
what do
found
we got?
the damage. We need a new thrust washer bearing.
Oh, and possibly a crank.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah. In the
Wow, man, that got hot. Look at that. Thrust bearing. That's all it was.
Motor looks virtually brand new aside from that.
Well, it is brand new.
I mean, during the teardown, though, we're kind of like, man, what happened?
So we'll have to send this back to the awesome guys over at Texas Speed, and they're going to get this fixed back up for us. And we'll get this one back on the C7. But right now, we're just going to put the spare in it because they're going to have this for a little bit, I would assume. And that way we can get the C7 back running. But yep, I'm glad we did find something though. That's definitely what it is. Dang, that's crazy. Heads look good. No issues there. Got the oil pan off. Now we're ready to basically start putting everything on the other motor. Got the Frankenstein heads here that we sent off. These are actually Nemo's factory original heads that we sent off a couple months back just so I had them on the shelf. Well, turns out we actually need them now. I knew I was going to be building another spare motor just to have one in case something happens with that motor or the ZL1's motor. I have one ready to go. So these heads were done by Frankenstein. They did an awesome job on them, as always. But yeah, they're just basically a factory LT4 head that they go in and put valve springs on, port them, put their stamp on them. I mean, they turned out really good. So a little bit of Nemo's going in the C7 right now, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna get these things on right now. Look pretty good. Guys over at Frankenstein's, they've been really with us since the get-go. They actually sponsor Streetcar Takeover and stuff now too. So we love the guys over at Frankenstein. Alright, we're just going to put the nuts on here and get them torqued down, and really all we're waiting on, we've got a cam bolt. We'll put the front cover and stuff on it and be ready to go back in the Corvette. We'll have this thing fired up probably tomorrow, hopefully. This is going to be real fast now. We're torquing it down with a snap-on. I usually just do it with a Craftsman. So this is going to be really good.
I like your style. Keep it going.
Go through the first pass about 50 foot-pounds. Then we do 75. And I usually do them like right at 100. That's where I've had the best luck at. It's crazy, these LTs, they don't have head bolts up here. They're just the basic ones, but they actually have bigger diameter bolts or studs from the factory than an LS does. They're thicker, so they get a little bit more pressure on there that way. They're fully inspected. Look at there. All right, we got the other head on. It's looking like a complete motor again. So got this one torqued. We're gonna torque this one down. We got to wait for a bolt to come in tomorrow for the K-Tech VVT delete deal. We'll get this thing back in the C7, probably fired up and ready to go tomorrow. So we're actually doing pretty good swapping motors out of the Corvette by now. But no, it's good. Bearing failed on that one. It happens. No one's pointing fingers at anyone. It's just bearings fail. But they're gonna fix it, and we're gonna get it back. And here probably this summer we'll have the 427 back in the C7, be running good. But this is basically identical to the motor that we took out of the C7 that ran so good for so long. It's an LME 416 motor. It's stock sleeves. Basically these are the same exact heads that we had on the last motor. Everything's the same. We got the same Futrell Motorsports cam. Alan Futrell, awesome guy. He spec'd us out another cam for the car. Same one that we had in the other 416. So should be an identical setup on the C7 for the next couple months. Got the engine about ready to go in, putting the damper on right now. Got the K-Tech VVT delete deal on, ready to go. Awesome Texas Speed. Basically, they look like a factory rocker, but they have the roller tips on them. Awesome. part there from Texas Speed. About ready to go back in with the motor though. It's got the oil pan on, everything. We got it in. She's in the hole, Steven.
Stabbed it.
Stabbed it. These engines going really easy on the C7s too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just splined right in there. Real nice. Putting the motor mounts on right now, and man, it's pretty much downhill from here. Just get all the rest of the stuff bolted up, and we'll have this thing fired up in no time. C7's gonna live again with its 19th motor.
Hopefully it'll last for a while.
Wow. That was the quickest motor stabbing I've ever seen. What was that? You think maybe 60 seconds?
Yeah.
Less than 5 minutes at least.
Yeah, it's quick.
Went right in. We're just gonna go back and down a little bit.
Tim's got the 10-speed pulled from the Mustang over here. He just took it over to get built.
Yeah, so it's bolted to the flywheel. And
It's a pretty nice Mustang. It's got a full exhaust on it. It's got some axles, some suspension mods. It's got a ProCharger D1X on it. It's got some cool looking bronze wheels. Looks really good. Just about ready to fire her up.
looking good.
All right, we got the C7 back together, and we're going to start it up right now. First time with the spare LME motor in it, and see if it fires up. I think it will, but it usually takes a little bit to crank just to get the fuel system, the DI fuel system primed. Yeah, let's see what happens. All right, we got the C7 back running, and everything's good. It has good oil pressure. Everything sounds good with the motor. I think we got ourselves a good running motor in the C7 right now. We'll leave that in there, and then whenever we get the Texas Speed motor back, we'll swap them back out. But I think this one will do us for a while. That way we're not rushing Texas Speed to get us the 427 back. Had a thrust bearing go out. It happens. So who knows, maybe when that pulley, the keyway broke off of the crank and the pulley was spinning on there in the middle of a dyno pull, it may have messed with that thrust bearing a little bit. So it's tough to say, but they're going to fix it for us and get it back to us. They've actually already picked it up. FedEx came by this morning and picked it up. So that's good. And yep, that's it. Make sure you subscribe. We'll have a lot more on the C7 coming out your way. Next is going to probably be the dyno, and we'll see how much this 416 makes. Should make some power. We'll see y'all later.